for this next section, I had the pleasure of interviewing an amazing animator straight from Japan. He's worked with so many of your favorite studios, and he's worked on so many of your favorite anime, such as My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball Super Broly, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, and the recently released Demon Slayer Mugen Train. He specializes in action scenes, but enough about him from me. Let's dive into the interview. Hi everyone, welcome to this lovely interview we're gonna have, joined by our wonderful guest, Ken Arto. He has worked on many of our favorite shows such as My Hero Academia, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Dragon Ball, and so many others. So enough about him from me. Let him introduce himself. Ken, take it away. Tell us about yourself.
Nice to meet you. My name is Ken Arto. I'm 31. I'm half French, half Japanese, and I'm actually working at Studio 4C on feature film.
What got you into animation? Like, what was your inspiration? Any shows, anything? What inspired you to pick up animation?
In my case, it was when I was high school. At first, I was a big fan of animation and of manga. A lot of students of my age, and at first I wanted to be a mangaka. But in high school, I had a group of students who was looking about Japanese animation, but they was looking more about the good animation, how do you say, the animation who is more moving, more, how can I say, not an adaptation of manga, more original animations, like Evangelion, Furikuri, or the Miyazaki and Kon Satoshi.
For people who want to know what scenes you've done in different anime, could you at least tell us a few anime that you've worked on and the scenes that you've worked on in specific?
The most famous work was Dragon Ball, Broly, the movie. The scene I have done was Vegeta, who was grumbling against Goku. I have drawn City Hunter, the movie. City Hunter Private Isis, Shinjuku Private Isis. So I participate also to Jojo Bizarre Adventure, episode 7 and episode 16. And have done so Hiroaka on season 3, season 4. I participate on 4 episodes on Hiroaka. Recently I have worked on Decadence, episode 2. And the movie next week, Demon Slayer, I have done the pass of Inosuke when Inosuke get up, was asleep and he get up and he's grumbling.
Oh wow, yeah. I actually read the manga. Now that I know you worked on that scene, I'm gonna pay special attention.
So as you started out as an in-betweener, right? Yeah. And you've worked on some amazing, you worked on Dragon Ball Super Broly, man. That's amazing. I loved that. Oh man, that was amazing. The action scenes in that movie. So working on all these shows, how hard was it to adapt to the different designs? Because every one of them have different design styles. It must be really hard.
Yes, you have a good point with Dragon Ball, because the art of Dragon Ball is pretty hard. Because when you see the character, the face of the character of Goku or Vegeta, they had all the expression very narrow, and they have a big head, and you can see the Goku's hairstyle is the same as you see in front, in side, and also for his ears, his ears is always in front of each pose. So. Dragon Ball styles, Toriyama styles is very design artistic, but on manga it's worked very well. But when you have to animate it, well, you have to cheat, because there is something, or the hairstyle of Goku is not has volume, about the path, how to have to move it. You have to cheat a bit. And yes, Dragon Ball, the way they draw the expression, the mouse. Yes, I had. Oh, yeah, it was hard to draw it.
So, because I'm trying to see how you worked on Dragon Ball and then you worked on Jojo. So I'm like, yo, those are two different design styles. Yeah.
But that, and I will so say how it is important of the work of the chief animator, because the chief animator, he's the one who will put all in the models. So your work is to put to give a diamond brute, and the chief animator will polish it. So if you give him a good rough animation with the good proportion, he will just after redraw it with the good lines, the good expressions. If I put more simple, you will put the the skeleton, the pose of the skeleton, and he will put the muscles on your skeleton. And when you receive the muscle, you will put the skin and all the clothes of the characters. It's not a work of one animator. It's a work of animator, the director who will check, the chief animator. So just for the Gengar step, you have three guys who will check it. And after, you have the Doga, the in-betweener, and after the Kora. So you have 5 persons who are working for just one cut.
Do you usually work on multiple shows within the same time period, or like do you work on one at a time?
I prefer to block one at a time, but I received some offer by Twitter or yes, because in Japanese animation, most they're doing by communication by Twitter. You receive pretty offer by Twitter from some productions, and so yes, Twitter is it's a good Twitter. How can I say? If you want to entry to the Japanese animation world to have some work, Twitter is the best. And so sometimes I receive some offer by Twitter, and I receive a lot of things. Some projects I don't have some attached, so I don't work on it. Or sometimes I receive some cool projects. This yes, I would like to work on it. But I don't have time. But if I don't sleep, I can do it. So yes, if it's a project I would like to do, well, I will do it.
How do you bring out an action style? Like, how do you bring out the best action scene? Because majority of your stuff is action. So how do you say you bring out the emotion of your scene? Because almost all the scenes I saw in My Hero Academia, there was a sketch there. The one when Beku is coming with a kick to, what's his name again? The guy with the mask.
Yes, Overhaul.
Yes.
Yeah, Overhaul. There we go. And I love that scene. It was so amazing.
Actually, this scene, I have to say it. We was 3 animators to do it. There was at first there was Benjamin Ford, Media Wishawi, and me for the last 3 cuts. And the impact of the kick. It was me who have done it, but Nakamura Yutaka. Nakamura Yutaka is a great animator at Bones, and every cool animation of Hiroaka, it's him who doing, and he had put the correction on it, and so after Mehdi had to clean up this animation. So it's a for this sequence we was 4 animators to do it.
From a French background of animation, and then moving to Japanese, French is very like you probably do one frame, one frame per second, and then Japanese you're looking for ways to reduce the frame count.
Yes, yes.
So, how was that? How was that the switch?
Yes, in fact, you have to know that when you are doing when you are animator in Japan, they are thinking with limited animation. So when you have to do lip sync, you have just 3 frames: to close his mouth, open mouth, and just a middle, and just doing with the 3 frames for all the lip syncs. And sometimes when they want to do some emotional scenes, they will be put more frames to do the lip sync. They try to find the good of economic way to when they do some joke. I think the good example is Kill la Kill from Trigger. Very comical scene. They do some slide, very cheap animation. But when it's time of you want to put some emotion, some sakuga, some actions. Okay, let's put a lot of frames. They think about a lot of the composition of the layouts, how the frame will be, some angles. Another show who put it very well is Evangelion.
I love Evangelion.
Sometimes you have just one scene for 45 seconds. You see Shinji and Misato speaking. And speaking, they're just the insect noise. And they're looking. Okay.
Lots of dialogue and no movement. Just like
yes. So they don't have much money, but they have to think brilliantly to do some original direction, I will say.
That was an amazing interview. It was a pleasure interviewing you, Ken. And I hope you all learned a lot about the industry and about animation and about him as well from that interview.